Okay, this is our third in a four-part series on deciding what to use in law and with lawyers. And the topic here is 5 things absolutely to use. 5 things absolutely to use. The first of those is restraint, restraint, restraint. And this is a little bit of a repeat with something added on to it, what we said before about don't make rash decisions. Don't make rash decisions. If you don't absolutely need to decide something today, don't decide something today. This is a time for some calm reflection, maybe use of counseling, connection with some healthy people in your lives. Seek out some people who have good divorces. Seek out some people who've managed to save their marriages from the brink, maybe people who've been separated. You don't even necessarily need to talk about marriage and divorce and families with these people. Just spend time with them. There's something likely very special about them that you could learn, and connect with support systems. I want to talk about one additional thing, though, about restraint, and that is what to do when your co-parent is out of control. And that is restraint, restraint, restraint. I know a couple that has just a wonderful, wonderful marriage, and when asked once, somebody commented, "I've never seen you guys fight, and you seem so happy." And they said, well, one of them, the dad said, well, you know what, we never do fight. You've never had a fight? Now that's something we don't all need to shoot for. And he said, no. And when asked, how could this be? He said, you know what, we're never angry at the same time. We're never angry at the same time. So if, we've both been angry, we've both been upset, we've both had grievances, but we have sort of an understanding that there may just be a time that somebody needs to be out of control. If your co-parent is out of control, and that can be expressed in a lot of ways, that may just be a time to just listen, a time to sort of shut down. I always wonder when people are having a fight with somebody who's out of control, who are you using as the jury? You're not going to convince this person. This person is not in a thinking place. This person is not in their rational best. They are in a very emotive place, a very emotional place. Let them have that time. It's one of the highest signs of character, I think. Not to mention one of the most effective strategies in getting along with our fellow man, whether it's in our personal relationships, business relationships, or elsewhere, that we can quietly listen and not argue with someone who is in an emotional state. So restraint, restraint, restraint. The second thing affirmatively to use and absolutely to use is a focus on your kids, your kids, your kids. Anybody who knows our website knows what we mean by this. And by this time, if you spent much time on the website, the wonderful quote from Pat Brown, the attorney and counselor from Central Indiana, who says, if parents will agree on one thing, they'll agree on everything, if that one thing is, what do we want our kids to look like when they're 25? And something that there are a lot of reasons that that's so important. Number one, when we do what's best for our kids, we really can't help but do what's best for ourselves, because what do they need? They need the higher values, the relationships, peace, cooperation, and joint decision-making by the parents being a team for the kids. Second, though, they are people we would do anything for. You would do anything for your kids. Parents are overwhelmingly willing to make sacrifices for their children that in the midst of a difficult divorce they would not maybe make for each other. We hope someday they would recover enough goodwill that in fact they would kind of be looking out a little bit for the best interests of their co-parent, but they would always, it would help them slow down, they would do what's best for the kids. So that's one I want you to always ask yourself, what would be best for the kids right now? What piece of restraint could I show? What piece of goodwill, what accommodation could I make to the family's functioning, or a flip in a schedule or something that would make things work out that would be best for the kids? The best predictor of how parents in divorce do, the best predictor is how focused they are on their kids. And that holds true for when the parents are working together, and it even holds true when there's one heroic parent who will say, you know what, for the sake of the kids, I'm going to be restrained, predictable, courteous in this situation, that right now inside of me there's a wolf calling out to say, don't yield an inch on this. Look out for your kids, do what's best for them. You almost necessarily can't then do anything but do the best for yourself. The third thing that I think you absolutely want to use is self-education and preparation. Self-education and preparation. Almost every signal that we have in society about how divorce is supposed to be done is wrong. We teach that it's about a competition instead of the ultimate call to cooperation. We think it's about attacking our legal rights against each other in an expensive sort of show and then seeing who comes out the best. We think we have custody disputes when in fact we don't. Take a look at the video that we have on the 9 myths of divorce and begin to educate yourself about what your challenge really is. What's the best preparation? We think it's going through the Up to Parents website and not only doing the work on it, but then looking at the videos that are there and the articles that are all on the Parents Corner. I think that you will learn so much. You will save so much money. You will save so much wear and tear. You may increase, if you're interested in it, your chances of saving your marriage and making it better than ever. You can certainly, in 1,000 ways, protect your kids better, protect the relationships in your family better, and make a better future. The more that you can rely on yourself, the more you can rely on all the many ways in which you can work through these difficult times, the better off that you're going to be, and the better chance that you're going to make it that you're not turning these into legal issues. These are not legal issues, and people wonder why, we've been to court 8 times, 12 times, and it's worse than ever. Well, yeah, because there are all those adversarial paradigms there that make things worse, and these never were legal issues in the first place. They were mom and dad issues, they were husband and wife issues. Use this preparation. You will find that you will do such a better job for yourself, your children, and everyone in your family. The fourth thing that I think you absolutely want to use is a peace-focused support system. Share the burden, this might be called. And I think that women are so much better at this than men. It's one of the reasons that I think we have so many guys, when they live on their own, they're not reaching out, they're sad, they're sometimes self-medicating with alcohol or something else, and we're trying to find some diversion from our pain. Women, they tend to be so much more communicative and open to support systems, but male or female, find yourself. There are people out there who care about you you haven't contacted in a long time. Get in touch with those people. Hook up with a support group if you want. At least spend some time with people who have good divorces or have saved their marriages after going through difficult times. There are people out there who care about you, and you're in all likelihood, one of your best investments of time will be reconnecting with these people. Be sure to seek out some counseling, at least a little short-term counseling, if you feel that you need that. Too many people are trying to endure these burdens alone. One final thing I want to tell you, and this is another way in which the work on Up to Parents can be of help to you, it's your responsibility to make sure that this is a peace-focused support system. I think all of us may at times need to vent on somebody, and that can be a good thing. That can be a good thing to have a friend you could go to and say, you are not going to believe what this person is, we're not going to believe what a tough time I'm having. That can be okay, but eventually I think we need to go to our fans and family and friends and say, you see these agreements from this website, this is the kind of relationship that I want to have with my co-parent or with my spouse if you're still together, and I want you to support this. So make sure that you not only have a support system, but it is a peace-focused support system that is likely to be one that's going to help you to heal and to help your future in your family to be as peaceful and good as possible. And the fifth and final thing that I think you absolutely affirmatively want to use is a focus on relationships. Remember that this is about relationships. If people think, well, my divorce is a battle over, exactly how many minutes of the week the kids are with me, so that my miserable kids, when they're with me being miserable, that's a good day, and my idea of a bad day for them is when they're miserable with their other parent, we're so far off track. If we think a divorce is about, who gets exactly this amount of the property and stuff, we're so far off track, okay? Yes, we need to get to a number, but we need to get away from the idea that there's an absolute, what we call the ORN, the objectively right number, the objectively right number of minutes for the kids to be here or there, the objectively right number of kid lunches that I pay for versus the one that you pay for. Already everything is lost. It's about the relationships. Dr. Tim Anke has a wonderful caution to lawyers, judges, counselors, mediators, all the professionals. He said, let's remember, we all have the same client. If you're dad's attorney, yes, you represent dad, but you represent something in common with mom's attorney. What is that thing we all represent in common and that all the professionals are supposed to be supporting? It's the future relationship between mom and dad. It's the future co-parenting relationship. It's the future co-parenting relationship. That relationship is going to be responsible for resolving thousands of issues we don't even know about today. So from your standpoint as a parent, keep this in mind. It's about the relationships. Finally, your children are going to be sustained by whatever goodwill and cooperation, predictability, peace, and restraint you can have with your co-parent and in your way of relating, and of course with their relationship with all their grandparents and all the extended family that are of support to them, and they're at risk of getting divided up in a battle. Remember, it's about relationships, and if you do this, you will have children who are much healthier. You'll have a life that's much happier.